Hey, today I'm going to go over, this is not an exercise more than it is, I guess, a modality, we'll call it. I certainly can't take credit for this. I learned this years and years ago from the man who basically, I can't say invented it, I suppose, but came up with it. Donnie Thompson came up with this, Columbia, South Carolina, the first man to ever do a 3,000 pound total. He was using this to decompress his spine, right? So with as much load as you guys in the tactical space have, wearing body armor and carrying weight all the time, I've been using this now for probably better part of a decade, and this is one of my favorite things to do for decompression of the spine. I do not and am never a believer in the moon boots, right, or the inversion table. I am certain that those create more trauma than their benefit. I do not ever recommend it, which is why, again, same with Donnie Thompson, his recommendation is because of that very reason, okay, in part. So if you look at the setup here, it doesn't have to be, this is a recreation of the original, essentially. So we have the 5-inch, 4-inch bands here. It don't have to have a band. What this does is creates a bit of a shock absorption. You'll see here when I hang, right? This is just essentially a weight belt, like a dip belt. There's nothing too special about this. And I just have some nylon through there so I'm not clipping a metal carabiner into rubber of any sort, okay? This rack is set up, it's kind of like a jungle gym. It's nice to have. So the rule of thumb kind of is in this, I'll put this around me like this, climb up into my rack, and if you guys have ever been like mountaineering and you've carried a really heavy rucksack, most rucksacks have a cummerbund. It will snap in, and this will sit on your hips, and your weight will be bared by this. The same thing is what we're going to do is we don't want this in the middle of your back. We're going to get this thing drop down. You'll see I'm actually going to sit on this. It totally holds my weight. This is easily holding my weight. I'm kind of sitting on the edge of my butt, but I'm going to scoot into my hips, okay? And now what I can do is I can fully hang upside down, right? It's going to bear my weight totally. So the instructions from this that I've gotten from Donnie is essentially, and it's same stuff online. You can definitely check it out, okay? I cross my legs like this, and I can actually relax my legs entirely because of the cross position. From here, depending on how high you are, right, I want my arms to hang, but they hit the ground. Now, they're not really loaded much, okay? But for me, I like to cross my hands nice and deep, and then it'll rest against I'm spinning here like Spider-Man. You can see my forearms will rest against my forearms rest against my head, and I can really relax my arms, okay? Once I'm here in this position hanging, what I'm gonna do is try and relax, and I'm gonna engage into my breath. Nice inhale, given that I'm upside down, with a relaxing exhale. Once I'm able to stay in this position fairly relaxed, the next step is I'm gonna drop one leg back and do the same thing. Fall into a breath rate, then I'll switch my legs and do it again. The question kind of is, how long am I staying upside down? The answer is, as long as I'm comfortable, right? Typically, I'm gonna do it in a couple minute sessions because you get a bit of a head rush. Depending on your stomach, what you have in your stomach can be a little bit uncomfortable, but more than anything, you're just gonna get a bit of a head rush. So what I like to do is I like to hang for a minute or two. I'll sit up with the blood. I basically treat this just like sets and reps. I don't have a prescription of time. I do this by braille, by feel, and you should too, right? Maybe some simple guidelines is you suspend for maybe 3 to 5 minutes in total, and then work from there. I would say work in 30-second to a minute increments, just to experience it, and then from there formulate a plan. But I'm certain that if you get a setup like this or some variation of it, you can use your standard weight belt, right? A standard weight belt, and have some nylon, have some rope, go to Home Depot. You can make a really inexpensive system with this. And I'm certain that if you're able to get this hip loaded, upside down, you're gonna see a lot of relief, not just from your lower back, right, your lumbar, but you're potentially gonna get some some thoracic relief, but I would even expect to start getting some rib relief, right? So give it a shot, give it and experience it over a couple days, and I'm pretty sure you're going to find a real benefit with this.